before the shots had went out, and people was blaming her at first for allegedly giving out the location. Might be true, might not, but check out the clip.
Go, y'all see him? He came to get him some tacos, baby. Y'all better pull up, cause you already know how he doing this type of tacos, baby. Pull up, baby. Little baby just pulled up on us. You know, we doing it big around this mug.
Minutes later, according to a video obtained by TMZ, some men who act like they was recording their own music video only to scope out the scene had shot the music video before fleeing away and managed to be caught on camera, but it was blurry. 3 people were shot who later survived.
Damn!
Where you at?
What the fuck?
He's gone. You can put it up. He gone.
Who the fuck was that?
I just sat right here and watched the whole time, bro.
Dang.
Hey, the real smooth, bro. Real smooth, bro. Them like they was shooting their own video the whole time they were plotting on their ass.
Around 5 p.m. this evening, our officers were dispatched at a 2000 block of Verbena Street in reference to multiple people shot. Upon arrival, we did in fact find individuals that had been shot on scene. One of the individuals that was shot, he self-transported himself to the hospital where he was at Grady not too long after the incident, but the other 2 individuals were transported by EMS. A subsequent investigation has revealed there was a music video that was being shot at the location at the time in which the shots were fired. We do know that there were several people on scene as well as several vehicles, and we had multiple individuals flee the scene subsequent to the shooting. So we're still in the early phases of the investigation, but we do have some of the best detectives in the business that are working to try to get to the bottom of this.
Who's the star of the rap video?
At this time, that's still under investigation. We are receiving some preliminary information, but we want to make sure that that information is vetted and that we look at it carefully to make sure that the information that we're receiving from witnesses is in fact correct. The incident happened right in the shopping complex in which you saw the multiple shell casings right adjacent to the music video set. Yeah. The people that were shot were not a part of the video production team, but there may have been individuals involved in the totality of the production that were involved in the incident. At this time, it appears to be an isolated and targeted incident.
Now, according to authorities, this pissed off the Goodfellas. They went to Oakland City, where Lil Baby is from, and shot it up. But before we go over those details, let's briefly talk about the Goodfellas.
Imagine going to music video acting like you shooting a music video and you shoot, boy, and then you killed the little boy in the process. Like, be fucking for real.
They from, where they represent. Now, the abbreviation for Goodfellas that most members would use would be GF. Also, they represent as the mob. This alleged gang was allegedly formed in jail back in 2005 by a man with a life sentence who go by the name of Abdullah Williamson, aka Lord Dude or Lord Frost. 5 years ago, this rapper named Sa Baby had shot a music video and was rapping GF. This music video managed to get many people indicted and even had this music video appear on First 48 before having the neighborhood being shut down for code violations.
The mob, bitch. Shoot up in the air, you getting hit. Just GF.
Goodfellas mob, first known as 30 Deep, as mentioned, it's a Rice Street-born prison gang that eventually led to cliques and different crews to form and spread their influence all over Atlanta. And now, they have gained reputation as one of the most feared and respected gangs in Atlanta, and one of the biggest crews in the city. So now we got a pretty idea on who GF is. According to APD, GF didn't like that Lil Baby shot a music video in their neighborhood. So at the time, they got a call from a high-ranking gang member of GF that's incarcerated and was ordered to shoot up Lil Baby neighborhood. And they did just that.
Damn.
Almost 2 months after.
See, that's why when you try to come back to your hood, boy, that shit be a fucking death sentence, boy. Nah, for real.
The music video was shot on the first week of July in 2024. A tragic shooting in southwest Atlanta has claimed the lives of 2 young boys and left another one injured. At around 12:40 a.m., police responded to a call from an apartment complex on Spark Street Southwest, near People Street Southwest, in the Oakland City neighborhood. Upon arrival, officers found a 13-year-old boy dead at the scene. Another 13-year-old boy and 11-year-old were rushed to the hospital, but the second 13-year-old boy has succumbed to his injuries. May they both rest in peace. 11 condolences to their families. The 11-year-old boy had managed to survive. The Fulton County Medical Examiner Office has identified the two 13-year-olds as Jacody Davis and Lamont Freeman. The younger boy who was in the hospital appeared to be the younger brother of Davis. And the sad part is, Davis lost his life on his birthday. Once again, may they both rest in peace.
Atlanta neighborhood. They are fed up with crime. Two 13-year-olds are dead, another hurt after an overnight shooting.
This all happened at a complex in the Oakland City neighborhood, and Atlanta News First reporter Brittany Ford is live at Grady Hospital this afternoon where the surviving teen was taken. So, Brittany, how is that child doing?
Well, the good news is that this 12-year-old that was injured in this shooting is in stable condition, expected to make a full recovery. But today we were out talking with neighbors who say this has happened over and over again. Tragedies just like this, they're calling for the city to step in. An apartment building on Spark Street in southwest Atlanta riddled in bullet holes.
I had a bullet come through my grandbaby window. I done had a bullet come through my door. These was an innocent bystander. We are not getting no help, no justice.
Authorities say two teens who have been identified as 13-year-old Jacody Davis and 13-year-old Lamont Freeman were shot and killed while hanging out on these stairs just before 1 a.m. Tuesday morning. Family members of Freeman say the teen was killed on what would have been his 14th birthday.
Wow.
Today is his birthday. Literally. Today is his birthday, and that's not good at all. It's not. He's supposed to be here with us, celebrating, doing what we do.
Deborah Daniels says the apartment complex has been plagued with crime.
We need help. I want the mayor and everybody else to come out here and please help us.
City Council member Julian Bond says the city will be responding.
The police department's going to do a newly tuned focus on this particular property and the area in general.
Bond stressed they also need the community's help.
We want people to be involved, to tell us where they need the service, where we can apply our resources to better help and to serve them. You know, we don't want to just respond when there's a tragedy.
Grieving the loss of two young men, Daniel says the violence has gone unaddressed far too long.
It is sad. How many more we gonna get killed? It is sad.
Yeah, that is sad.
Now, Atlanta police are still working to find a motive. Right now, there are currently no suspects or even a suspect description. Reporting live at Grady Memorial Hospital, Brittany Ford, Atlanta News.
I felt every word that grandmother was speaking.
Nah,
When Atlanta
facts.
PD held up their promise in making an arrest, it would come 7 months later, and 12 members of the Goodfellas happened to be arrested. And if authorities know the hit came from inside the jail, I'm sure someone incarcerated had already started talking. And because of that, they side had deemed Lil Baby shooting that music video was the motive. And in return, Lil Baby was mentioned and the warrant. How ironic. Check it out.
Before this incident took place, we were out here holding a very similar press conference, and we were asking for the help from the community. In just a moment, I'm going to show you some pictures of 7 individuals that we were able to take into custody in conjunction with this tragic incident. I stood here and told you the story how on July 2nd, just after midnight of last year, we had two 13-year-olds and 11-year-old celebrating the birthday of Lamont Freeman. He had just turned 13, and he got to experience about 30 minutes of being a teenager before his life was taken. And when I turn it over to Major Woolfolk, he's going to discuss some of the investigative techniques and really the gang involvement and the gang ties that led to this incident taking place. But one thing I want to make absolutely clear, and I said it then and I'll say it again, these kids were innocent victims. So when we talk about the gang involvement, these two 13-year-olds and this 11-year-old, they didn't have a gang involvement. We didn't have interactions with them as a police department. They were good kids in the community, and unfortunately, you know, their futures, their lives were taken. So I do want to thank all the community members that gave us tips and information on this case. And while I can't say necessarily that one individual tip broke this thing open, each tip is like a little puzzle piece. And we took every one of those, glued them together, and we're able to thankfully bring this case to resolution. And I will say that even though we have made 7 arrests, you know, we never stop working cases. So if anyone has more information, we would ask that you do bring that forward, provide that to us, and we will certainly investigate every detail of those tips. So right now we're going to show some images of the individuals that we have made arrests on. So 5 of these individuals we already had in custody, we had arrested. Some of them were in jail on previous charges not related to this. So once we establish probable cause, we're able to serve the jails in which they're housed with these arrest warrants. So the first one there is Mr. Sanders. Let me just flip in. Richard Hollis. Reginald Thomas.
He just looked like he did it.
Marcus Crawford. Mr. Mobley. Traydon Crawford. And Traydon is one of the individuals that we took into custody yesterday. And then the final 7th individual is Mr. Ollie Caldwell. If you notice with these individuals, 2 of them share the same last name. It's because they are brothers. So it seems like there was some type of family history of gang activity, gang involvement. And unfortunately, on the night of July 2nd, that escalated to 2 13-year-old children losing their lives. So I'm going to turn it over to Major Ralph Woolfolk, and he will discuss a little bit of the gang conflict and some of the investigative techniques and procedures that we used to get us here today. So thank you.
Thanks, Major. My name is Major Ralph Woolfolk of the Violent Crime Interdiction Section. And I first want to say the overall theme of this case is grown men playing gangster that left 2 of our children in graves and a community in fear.
Damn.
And we know in these communities that strength is about building community, not destroying it. And in this case, leaving 2 young people in their grave. I want to thank the community that was here with our investigation team from the inception of this incident. Out on the night of the incident, we not only received investigative assistance from this community, but we also saw a community that was full of compassion and love. Video evidence depicted several people in this community pouring out of their apartments, attempting to triage wounds, attempting to transport persons to the hospital, and making several 911 calls from this community that were used throughout our investigation that led ultimately, with their assistance, to some of the apprehensions in this case. I want to also thank the FBI, who has not only been an incredible partner to us throughout this investigation, but has also been a consistent partner to us throughout our fight, as Chief Shearbaum always says, against gangs, guns, and drugs. We have had a consistent partnership with the FBI that has aided us in suppressing our violent crime. And for our team members internally in the Atlanta Police Department that spent countless hours, investigative hours, a tandem approach, collaborative approach between homicide, between gangs, between our ACE unit, between our intelligence analysts, and several other internal units throughout the police department that spent countless hours working this case. I remember getting a call from the gang unit over 4th of July weekend asking to go up on a wiretap investigation. And subsequent to that call, the next 48 hours was spent on the phone with our district attorney's office, who was a great support to us throughout this investigation and trying to stand that T3 up. And through that investigation, our gang unit sacrificed vacations. Our gang unit sacrificed time with loved ones, sacrificed relationships throughout the course of this investigation. In 5,424 man hours from July 10th through October 30th, that was spearheaded by the Atlanta Police Gang Unit in a wire room to ultimately assemble key facts and elements leading us to where we are in the investigation. And for the investigation aspect of this, Lamont Freeman was allowed to be a 13-year-old for 27 minutes.
Wow.
Before gang violence ultimately took his life. Gang violence that was orchestrated by adults in our city. And cowardly acts cowardly acts of an Atlanta-based rapper that decided to go over into a rival gang stronghold and shoot a music video in a place that he knew he should not have been.
You see how they trying to blame? Well, and if he knew that, if he truly knew that, then rightfully so. But still, like, damn.
And in the subsequent days, we saw homicides and shootings, and ultimately the deaths of 2 children as a result of his cowardly actions. And you know who you are. And I tell you that this team will work relentlessly to hold you and the persons that you are affiliated with responsible for those actions. Ultimately, there are components of this investigation that led back to a prison in the state of Georgia where an illegal phone, a contraband phone, was used to orchestrate these acts. There was a hit called by a high-ranking gang member on the opposite side of that opposing rapper's gang. And I'll tell you today, that gang was Goodfellas. Goodfellas Criminal Street Gang being one of the most hyper-violent gangs in the city of Atlanta. And we will pursue you relentlessly in making sure that we keep this city safe and suppressing violence throughout our city. And lastly, I'll say, as Major Malecki indicated, there is still a $50,000 reward that is on the table for additional information in relationship to this case. And our detectives and our officers, through all of the internal units and external units that you see here today, will be knocking on doors and working with this community that has been so resilient to collect additional information to continue to move this investigation forward. Thank you.
We'll now open up for questions. We'll start on that side with Tom Regan.
Yeah,
Hey, man, say, man, that shit crazy, bro. I ain't gonna lie, that's why when you get put on, bro, and you get known, bro, that's why so many rappers just leave the city, bro. Like, they just, like, never come back, bro, because that's really, you know what I'm saying? Like I said in the beginning of the video, like, that's really a death sentence for real. Pending. You follow what I'm saying, gang? Like, this nigga made the call from jail. Like, how did you even know they was planning to shoot a video that day? That's how you know they was watching your ass. And I just feel like that's crazy, bro. Nah, being a rapper, being a hip hop rapper, one of the most dangerous jobs out there. Let's start there. Me, it hit different.
It's important we all take accountability, but it's also important to present the facts to the public and let us make that decision, not what authorities is pushing after one informant is giving that narrative.
Alright, so I'm gonna leave it there, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section below, man, and I'm out, man.